It's a sign of the political times we live in. Just a few days before a presidential election, I've asked Arizona's top law enforcement officer to join us for a briefing on what she's doing to protect our vote. Attorney General Kris Mayes, welcome back to Sunday Square Off.
Thanks, Brahm.
And we have an example right here in the Valley. Donald Trump speaking to Tucker Carlson at an event. He made what could be interpreted as a threat. Let's listen to what Donald Trump said.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face.
That was Donald Trump talking about his critic Liz Cheney, appearing to suggest she be put before a firing squad. Is that a death threat?
Well, the first thing I would say, Brahm, is it is, just outrageous that Donald Trump would come to Arizona and make statements like that that are clearly, at least appear to be threatening and harassing and intimidating. And I'll be clear with you, I have already asked my criminal division chiefs to start looking at that statement, analyzing it for whether it qualifies as a death threat under Arizona's laws. So I'm not prepared now to say whether it was or it wasn't, but it is not helpful as we prepare for our election and as we try to make sure that we keep the peace at our polling places and in our state, and as I know we will, have once again a free and fair and safe election.
His supporters, Donald Trump's supporters, would say, come on, that's political speech, free speech.
Now,
you think it may have crossed a line?
I mean, that's the question, whether it did cross a line. And the fact, though, that he would come to Arizona and make a statement like that against Liz Cheney, who has been speaking out against him and exercising her free speech, I think is just not helpful. It's deeply troubling, and it is the kind of thing that riles people up and that makes our situation in Arizona and other states more dangerous.
You've had other dealings with Donald Trump and his associates in your fake electors investigation. Do you believe that if Donald Trump is losing this election in the coming week, he will try to overturn it?
Well, look, if he does try to do again what he tried to do, and we allege he tried to do in 2020, we're ready for it, and it's not going to happen. And we're more ready in Arizona than we ever have been in our history to make sure that we not only protect voters and elections officials against threats of violence or harassment or intimidation as they go to vote, but we're also ready on the back end to protect the vote, to protect the returns, and to make sure that we are able to certify the vote and that those electors end up having their votes count in Congress.
So take us inside the room. What are those preparations? And they're probably, extensive, but just give us a little thumbnail if you can.
Yeah, so for instance, I have made the decision, and I don't think this has ever been done in the history of Arizona, to mobilize the 80 special agents that work for me on Election Day and after Election Day to be prepared to help local law enforcement if they need it. God willing, they won't need it, and I think all our preparation will prevent the need for that. But we're going to pre-position agents at our offices in Tucson, Phoenix, Prescott, and in northeastern Arizona, just to be prepared to help.
To be just law enforcement officers, whatever tasks, crowd control.
That's correct. If there's any disturbances, we'll be ready to back up law enforcement. The frontline law enforcement officers are the ones who would deal with anything. The other thing that we've done is I just had a meeting with 83 law enforcement officials throughout Arizona to check in with them, to see how they're doing, see how they're feeling. We met with police chiefs, sheriffs, county attorneys. Things are looking good out there. Everyone feels pretty good. Everyone feels prepared. And we also said, hey, let's make sure all law enforcement officials, if you're seeing any threats or any instances of harassment at the polling places, that you report that to what's called ACTIC, which is the Arizona Counter-Terrorism and Information Center, so that we can all be prepared and that information sharing can happen across the state on Election Day and before.
You've already sent a message to any counties that might want to get out of line, not certify the election, with a plea deal you struck with Cochise County Supervisor Beverly Judd. What kind of message do you think that sends?
Yeah, it was with Peggy Judd.
Peggy Judd.
Yeah, Peggy Judd. So look, I mean, we did very intentionally conduct that case because those supervisors violated the law by delaying certification of the vote in 2022. I thought it was important to send a signal that we're not going to put up with attempts to undermine the vote in 2024. And so we did that prosecution. I didn't take it lightly, Brahm. And I also, as you know, sent a letter to Mojave County supervisors when they were contemplating voting to do hand counts, which also would have sowed chaos and potentially delayed the vote, that doing full hand counts is also illegal. And that if you do that, you could actually be, personally at risk of criminal prosecution. And that's, tough, but we want to send a signal that our elections are going to be conducted, as they always are, in a free, safe, and secure way.
Have to end it on that note. Kris Mayes, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Brahm.
When we come back, our politics panel on what's at stake in this election. But first, NBC's Steve Kornacki breaks down Arizona's top races and shows us the path to 270 through our swing state. You can see all of our Sunday Square Off coverage on our YouTube channel. Go to 12news.com/YouTube and stay with us.